New U.S. jobs report, just 73,000 jobs added in July amid sharp revisions. Here's a bold truth. The U.S. job market is showing cracks, and the latest numbers might just shake the confidence of economists, investors, and everyday workers alike. Let's break it down. In July, the economy added a mere 73,000 non-farm jobs, a figure that pales in comparison to the revised totals for June and May, which dropped by a combined 258,000. To put that into perspective, June's initial report of 147,000 jobs was slashed to just 14,000, while May's tally plummeted from 41,000 to a paltry 19,000. Even the modest Dow Jones forecast of 100,000 new jobs in July was left in the dust. And if that wasn't alarming enough, the unemployment rate edged up to 4.2%, aligning with expectations but hinting at deeper troubles. But here's where it gets controversial. These revisions and weak job gains could push the Federal Reserve toward a rate cut as early as September. Futures traders are already betting on a 75.5% chance of a cut, up sharply from 40% just a day earlier. Is this a sign of a cooling economy or a temporary blip? The debate is heating up. Let's dig into the details. The healthcare sector led the way in July, adding 55,000 jobs, over half of the total growth, while social assistance chipped in 18,000. Retail and finance each gained around 15,000 positions. But losses tell an equally bleak story. Federal government jobs fell by 12,000 for the month, and 84,000 since January, as Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency continues its aggressive downsizing. Professional and business services lost 14,000 jobs, compounding the unease. Heather Long, chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union, called the report a game-changer, warning that the labor market is deteriorating quickly. Luke Tilley of Wilmington Trust echoed this, noting that businesses are grappling with a very different cost structure, forcing them to pause hiring. And the numbers don't stop there. The household survey, used to calculate the unemployment rate, revealed a staggering 260,000 drop in employment, with the labor participation rate hitting 62.2%, its lowest since late 2022. A broader measure of unemployment, which includes discouraged workers and part-timers, climbed to 7.9%, the highest since March. Long-term unemployment also spiked. The average weeks unemployed jumped to 24.1, and those out of work for over 27 weeks hit 1.82 million, the most since 2021. Gur Doyle of Manpower Group summed it up. The labor market is not in crisis, but hiring momentum is softening, and pressures are building. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: President Donald Trump's relentless push for rate cuts. Despite the Fed's decision to hold rates steady in July, Trump took to Truth Social to berate Chair Jerome Powell, calling him a stubborn moron and demanding immediate action. His posts, which included threats to oust Powell if he didn't comply, underscore a growing rift between the administration and the central bank. White House officials, meanwhile, blamed the job market struggles on uncertainty over tariff negotiations and stricter border policies. But here's the twist. GDP growth for Q2 came in at 3%, better than expected, though much of that was fueled by a drop in imports ahead of Trump's April tariff announcements. Underlying demand remains weak, and consumer spending, while up from Q1, hasn't picked up enough to signal a rebound. So where does this leave us? The labor market is clearly cooling. But is it a slowdown or the start of something more troubling? The Fed faces a tough choice: act too soon and risk stoking inflation, or wait too long and let the economy slip into recession. And as for Trump's war of words with Powell, that's a drama we'll likely see play out in the coming months. What do you think? Is the Fed right to hold the line, or should it cave to political pressure? Share your thoughts below. We want to hear your take. The Hill: Trump's economy takes a hit with weak jobs report. Storm clouds are gathering over President Trump's economy as the latest jobs report reveals a worrying slowdown in growth. The labor market added just 106,000 jobs in the past 3 months, a far cry from the 500,000 jobs added in the same period last year. This has raised concerns that Trump's tariff policies may be deterring businesses from hiring. But here's where it gets controversial. Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, accusing her of politicizing previous reports. This move could undermine confidence in future jobs data. The combination of weak job growth and rising inflation has sparked fears of stagflation, a toxic mix of rising prices and unemployment. Trump's tariff plan was supposed to boost the economy, but critics argue it will only lead to pain for consumers as companies pass on the costs. The latest data suggests the economy is already feeling the strain, with the manufacturing sector shedding jobs for the second month in a row. The Fed may be forced to cut rates sooner than expected to prop up the faltering economy. But with prices rising and growth slowing, the road ahead looks rocky. Is this the end of the Trump economic miracle? Or can he turn things around? Let us know what you think in the comments.